Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. Manchester United 2, Seville 2, quarter-final of the Europa League, first leg. Kieran, difficult game to sum up, but I need you to summarise the 90 minutes there.
Yeah, I thought we played really well, especially first half. Second half, come off the tempo quite a bit, to be honest with you. But for me, I was at half time. I said to you, didn't I, Malacia?
Yeah.
I pointed him out to you and I said, look, he needs to start closing down the right winger, the midfielder, a lot sooner. They were getting a lot of joy down their right-hand side, and in that second half, he didn't seem to even step it up. And I do like Malacia, I like the kid, but if I was a United player in that dressing room after that game, I'd be absolutely giving it him. Honestly, God, because I thought throughout the game, he never really closed him down. When it was a one-on-one situation, he always was looking for help from either the midfielders with Casemiro, Bruno, or even Sancho at times. And I just thought he had an absolute nightmare tonight. But, kind of going too hard on him on his performance tonight. I want to, but there's other performances there tonight towards the end where players should have stepped up tall. You said earlier on about United going into their old ways, going into the shell, when something happens like a goal or, an injury or something like that. And tonight it was like last year's performances, or even at Newcastle, where we just surrender. We drop down and surrender, and it's a worry. It's a worry now going into the end of the season as well, especially with the injuries, suspensions. Next week with Bruno, we could have not Martinez, Maguire and Lindelof at centre-back in Sevilla next week. And the foreseeable, because we don't know how bad Varane is.
Well, there's a lot of things to talk about here, right? And
I can't even get the words out in a minute. Honestly, I'm on the floor. I'm in shock at the minute.
Yeah, well,
it feels like a defeat.
Yeah, it does feel like a defeat. I'll give you that, and you let me know if it feels like a defeat. Now, we started off bright. The first 20 seconds, bang, it's a goal. Offside, carried the first half, dominated it.
We dominated the first half, and the thing is, you go in 2-0 up against Sevilla, and I keep hearing this all week, even on tonight on the TV. Oh, they're a poor side. They're in such and such in the La Liga. They're near the bottom. Absolute. Well, I can't say on camera. This is Sevilla. Their name have been on that trophy more than anyone else in the last decade. This team know how to grind out results in European competition. We've come up against them in European competition recently, in the Europa League, Champions League, and they've done us. We've not beat them.
No.
And then to step off the gas like we did in the second half. And to me, I said to you as well, when Ten Hag made them 3 substitutions, I said, this is a big risk. I went, that is a massive risk what he's doing with half an hour to play in that game. For me, Martial, it's his first start. Was he really dropping off the pace? I'm not too sure.
Did Seville actually force United to drop off the pace with the way they were diving on the floor, the way they were fouling? And did the ref make the game slow down? And United there was no, to me...
Man United were controlling that game until them 3 substitutions were made.
Is that what you think?
That's the way I see it. I need to see it again, don't get me wrong, but to me, we were controlling that game. Yeah, they might have had the odd threat again down our left-hand side with Malacia, but to me, all in all, we were controlling it. I can only really remember, that in the first half, in injury time. 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Varane clearing it off the line. I'm sure it was Varane who cleared it off the line.
David
De Gea saving it, and I thought we were in control. And then, like I say, the subs got brought on. I don't know if Martial was injured or not, but Martial's the outball. Martial's the one who holds the ball up. I can understand Weghorst coming on, maybe he's a number 10 or something like that to sort of press him high up or press him in their midfield around that area. But I just thought they were the wrong substitutions. Look at Jadon Sancho again tonight.
Didn't do it.
I want it so badly. I've said before to wait for this kid, but I've run out of excuses for him, and I'm sure Eric Ten Hag's going to run out of excuses for him. Anthony Elanga, who's a ghost from the past, he's come on tonight. I forgot he was at Manchester United when he come on. I really did. And, maybe his performance tonight, Sancho, when it warranted Elanga to come on, but, Bruno Fernandes coming off, what did he do wrong tonight? I know he misses the next game next week, but it's not as though he needs a rest.
No, he don't need a rest. Didn't need to bring him off.
Yeah, he was up and down for me all game. Yeah, it wasn't like an 8, 9, 10 out of performance from him tonight, but he was playing well.
Did it disrupt the flow of what United was actually doing? United was containing the game at the time. And did you think that Seville thought they had a chance from that moment onwards because, as I see it, they pressed and they pushed on United because United seemed to have changed momentum, the speed, the flow of the game seemed to die. They seemed to fall back.
Man United, I think it was it the last, I think it was 15 minutes they made their some subs, and it was as though like they was probably thinking on the sidelines they could smell blood.
Yes.
And they could smell blood down that left-hand side. They could smell blood in that midfield area. Sabitzer, I thought, was fantastic in that first half, in that number 10 role. For me, he starts every single time in that 10 role and put Bruno back into midfield. But when when Bruno's come off and you're putting in Sabitzer back there, Sabitzer, for me, is not the same player there. You know what I mean? And I'm not slagging him, do you know what I mean? I just think he's a lot better further forward.
Yeah.
And they could smell blood, Sevilla, because they're an experienced side in Europe. And they're not going to want to come away from Old Trafford without scoring a goal. And they went for it. They just threw the kitchen sink it, and they come away by scoring 2 goals late on. You know, and they're going back over there now, and they're looking at us next week. You know, hardly a defence. You know, Bruno's out. They're going to be full of confidence next week.
We're looking forward to the games. Varane and Martinez. How big of a blow if Varane is out for a few weeks, because Martinez looks as though he's out for the season with that injury. He was absolutely devastated. How big of a blow is that?
Well, it destroys our season.
Destroys the season? That's a big call, that, Kieran.
It's not a big call. Martinez and Varane, you know, you look at our games since they've had a partnership together, you know, you could probably give one of them the man of the match every single week, one of them two.
Yeah.
You know, apart from obviously like you likes of Rashford, your Bruno recently scoring goals, but them two, you know, people go on about Casemiro being pivotal to this team, but them two as a partnership are bigger than having Casemiro in the team for me, if you know what I mean. And, you know, for me, you're looking at Newcastle in the league now, they're full of confidence, they got the win against us, they seem to be flying, you know, the last 2 games that they've played. You know, you've got Tottenham there. They'll be looking at this tonight. You know, teams in and around us will be
Forest.
looking. You know, we've got Forest on the weekends. You know, they'll all be smelling blood.
Yeah.
Because they'll look how weak our team is now, especially in that back 4 area. Do you know what I mean?
How difficult do you see this tie on Thursday in Seville? And is there a chance United can pull this out? Or will Seville just like take it to us?
There's always a chance. There's always a chance.
Yeah.
But looking at, again, like I said earlier on, it was scary how really we just capitulate once something goes on in the game. You know, a team get a goal like you've seen tonight. You've seen it at Newcastle. We've seen it at Liverpool, at Anfield. You know, there's just that one thing with this team, you know, whether it's an injury, someone comes off, they just collapse. And, you know, you still had experience still on that field tonight to try and control it, contain the game. And Ten Hag couldn't do anything from the sidelines because it made all his substitutions.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm just really, really disappointed. And I think next week they've got one massive job on their hands to get through in this tie. But I'm
gutted.
I'm gutted. I don't want to say no, we can't do it, because I know we can do it, because I've seen performances. You have, everyone out there. I've seen performances where we don't expect it, and especially in Europe and Manchester United come out and produce. But we've got our record goal scorer this season in Marcus Rashford. He's out. Martinez is out. Varane could possibly be out. Luke Shaw could be out.
Yeah.
You know,
massive, isn't it? It's massive.
It's they're your big game players. Yeah. These are the players that have changed Manchester United this season, including like the likes of Casemiro and people like that.
Well, tonight,
and they're out.
Yeah, tonight Anthony there hit the post, could have made it 3-0. But what do you make of his overall performance? I know people was going on about him. He was taking players on and all that, but he seemed to be having a personal battle. Did that deflect away from the actual team performance? And did he sort of ignore the team? Did he try and just have a personal battle out there on the wing?
Yeah, well, his performance anyway, I thought he was all right.
Yes.
You know, when you talk about like partnerships, him and Wan-Bissaka I thought played really well tonight, especially that first half, like the rest of the team. But if you take yourself back to that Arsenal and Liverpool game, Xhaka and Trent, once they had a little bit of a set to, that sort of changed the game, swung the game into Liverpool's way. And, you know, at one point you had Anthony over there. Yeah, he knew, like, kicking the ball out. I can't even remember what he was doing over there, but he was having a bit of a set to, a bit of a laugh together and all that at one point. But to me, that swung in Sevilla's favour. They must have looked at that and thought, yeah, who do you think you are? We'll take this to you now. Do you know what I mean? And they did do, and maybe Man United were just going through the motions after that, thinking, oh, this is like a training session now. It's all happy mates and this, that, and the other, pat on the backs and ollies or whatever. Yeah. And it's not like that. You know, look at the opposition that are in front of you. And Man United just, like, they showed him probably disrespect. Man United late on them stages, especially with Anthony doing things like that. Do you know what I mean? Trying to G up the crowd and stuff like that. Well, the only person you're G'ing up and the people you're G'ing up is the opposition you're going against, because they're professional footballers.
I look at that first half and the space Man United had. Did they actually squander a chance to put the pace on them and create the chances and make it 3-4-0? Because to me, they were so open. They just disjointed, and United really did.
They were all over the place. Man United should have took him to the sword.
That's what absolutely. Yeah.
You look at the Everton game. Should have scored 10.
Yeah.
Should have scored 10 goals. And tonight, you know, like I say, that first half performance as a team performance, it was good. But the only negative is not scoring enough goals.
Right.
And
feels like a defeat.
It feels like a defeat. And like I say, you've got Marcus Rashford out now. You've got Martial, who I thought played really well tonight. I know he definitely got the assist for Sabitzer's second goal. Yeah. But again, that's his first start tonight. And, you know, you're looking at the injury suspensions here now. And it could not, I don't want to say destroy, because it's a
derail.
It could derail our season and certainly derail that top four.
Right.
And certainly derail us in the Europa League. And you've got another big game in the FA Cup coming up against Brighton. And you've got major players out in this team like Martinez, who we expect out for the season after looking at him like that. Varane possibly, you know, where's Luke Shaw up to? Marcus Rashford. They're big players for this team, and they rise to the occasion when it's needed, and they're not going to be there.
Kieran, you actually sound like other United fans, what I've heard. They're devastated. They feel as though it's a loss. They feel as though the season's over. All we can hope for is that they sort it out and sort it out quick, because Forest will smell blood. Now, is there anything else before we go, Kieran? Is that it? Can you not speak anymore?
No, I can speak, but I'm probably just waffling on.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got to look at Sevilla, well, not last night, earlier on, that the dark arts, you said it in your preview, and it's only going to get worse over there. It's only going to get worse. Why Bruno even got booked anyway tonight is beyond me.
No.
I ain't got a clue. And then you look at that challenge on Casemiro. If Bruno's is a booking a yellow card, he should have got sent off, the Sevilla player.
Poor ref didn't help the game.
Didn't help the game at all. And there was other decisions there with the Sevilla players. And like I said before, this is an experienced European team. Forget about where they are in the league and La Liga. You know, this is an experienced team, and it's going to be one mighty job to get past these next week. And if we do, you know, it's a big confidence booster to the whole team.
Well, listen, we're going to struggle to sleep tonight and probably for the next few nights. I hope you get your sleep. Let's hope we get back to winning ways and get this performance out of the way. Listen, get your comments in, smash the likes, and please subscribe. We're absolutely devastated here.